This is the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast, episode 103. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. I took last week off from doing the show. I'm back on schedule doing this at least once a week, and I like to spend some time weekly. That's the way it's been lately. Weekly, talking about life, the universe, and everything. And today, I'm going to start off with a segment that talks about where you see yourself in your life and in your career. So when you think of yourself, when you think of your career, when you think of your family and your relationships, how would you define it? What 3 or 4 words might you use to describe yourself? Now, when I think of myself as being a bold and blessing leader. When Apple describes itself, they create life-changing products. How do you think of yourself? What's the way that you describe yourself when you look at your work? When most people do this, they have a bad habit. And the habit is they kind of zoom in on things. You know, they focus in on the things where they're imperfect, the things where they made a mistake, the screw-ups, the problems, things along those lines. But the truth is, instead of zooming in, you need to pull back. You need to have a perspective and really start off by asking yourself, what do I do well? What are my strengths here? Where am I great? Instead of just simply focusing on all the flaws. The flaws are easy to spot. The successes are hard. And yet, if you look at yourself as a whole person, you need to always remember the good stuff and not just the other. So what do you do if you're not sure? What do you do if you're not certain about what it is you bring to things? Number one is you do your best. Not the 50% that you're proudly giving. You raise your hand again, just like you did when you were a kid. Now, the metaphor of raise your hand, like when you think about it when you were a kid and in school, when you raised your hand, you were vulnerable. A teacher called on you, you might be wrong. And often what happens is when we're wrong as a kid, we start to put our hand underneath our butt and we stop raising it because we don't want to be made fun of. We don't want to feel like we're doing the wrong thing. And this carries through into our lives as well. What do you do when you're not sure? You do your best. You try your hardest. You do the right thing as though no one's looking at you. And you know what's right. You really do. And you do it at 100% capacity. You do it hard and strong and with effort, with care and with love. Love for others, knowing that even if it's not reciprocated, you did your best. And that's really what we have to get back into the habit of doing, our best. So that's today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to the show. Just subscribe so you get downloads whenever I release a new episode. Each show is going to be bite-sized morsels of advice just like today's. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope you subscribe. And if you do choose to subscribe, I hope you decide to support the show. There's a link that will take you to anchor.fm where you can make a pledge in support of the show. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in my coaching you, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show. I just happen to like knowing that I'm helping some folks. And once we're connected, message me about your interest in coaching. We'll set up a free call. We'll get acquainted, see if it makes sense. I'll be back soon with more. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Take care.